Okay, so this inequality question, we are being asked to show on the number line x is less than 4. Now, a really great trick here is to use the symbol itself as an arrowhead. So we're going to put a circle over the 4. We're pointing down the number line with our arrowhead and popping it on the end of the line. It really doesn't matter how long your line is, but it is important that you have the arrowhead on the end of it. Next one, we are having to list all the possible values of y. Y is an integer, which means it's a whole number. The range of numbers is 3 to 7. And then if you look at the inequality signs, it says it can equal 7, but it does not equal 3. So we cross that 3 out, and our answer is 4, 5, 6, and 7. Solving an inequality isn't any different to solving a normal equation with an equal sign. So you will apply your method. Now I'm hopping, so I'm going to take the smaller set of x's over to the side. Lands is a take, and 3x take an x is 2x. I have 2x plus 5 greater than or equal to 17. The thing that can happen very easily here is we forget to write the symbol, the inequality that we've got, and we write an equal. So we must take care. So you can see that we're hopping the 5, it's come off, and we're now dividing through by the 2, which gives us x is greater than or equal to 6 as our final answer. Okay, so this question is a lot of information. I'm going to set this up in a two-way table so that it organizes all the information and structures it for me. It's in the mark scheme like this, they kind of expect you to take this approach. However, this can actually be done without. I wouldn't recommend it because it's easy to go wrong, but I don't want to say it can't be done without the table. So we're going to start populating it kind of line by line. So there's 100 students into the total and 38 are girls. That means I can find the boys. So I might as well do that right there and then. 21 of the girls like biology, pop that in. 18 boys like physics. And then out of the 23 students that like chemistry, 7 are girls. Once you've got all that information in, you can start working through filling in all those gaps. I can use the row along the top to work out the missing value there is 10. The 10 and the 18 are going to add to 28. And then I can go along the bottom, 100, take away the 2 I've got, gives me 49. Now I could continue, but I don't need to. I'm being asked how many students like biology. I've got that answer already. So the answer is 49. Okay, so we haven't seen indices yet. We're going to need to apply our rules. So for a times question, we add, giving us m to the 7. This question is really commonly going wrong for a lot of students. What we're looking at is 5np to the power of 3 being raised to the power of 3. So everything inside the bracket is being multiplied by itself 3 times. And you can see that I'm writing that out. I like this way of doing it because it clearly shows what we need to do. 5 times 5 times 5, 125. I can see I've got the 3 n's, so it's n to the 3. And then I know my add rule for a times question. So I've got the 9 on my P. So that's a nice way to set it out, not go wrong. The next question is, it looks like a fraction. The fraction line is divide. So 32 divided by 4 is 8. And then the divide rule is to take the powers. So for Q, we've got 9 take 3, giving us Q6. And for R, we've got 4 take 1. Don't forget that invisible 1. And that gives us R to the power of 3. Okay, we've got a multi-step angles question. And with angles, there's always more than one way to do them. If you are ever stuck with an angles question, my top tip is to not worry about the question itself and just dive in and find as many different angles as you can. It's likely to give you some marks, but equally it could take you to where you need to go anyway. So the first one that I'm going to mark on is on the straight line with 110 and 25. I'm going to do 180, take away the 110 and the 25 to find that missing value of 45 degrees. And I've used a straight line to solve that. So it's really important that I write that down because I have to give reasons. I'm going to mark it on the diagram, and then I'm going to look at what I can do next. Now, I can see that they've given me parallel lines. If I was to link it this way, I could add my 45 and my 25, which would give me 70, and then I can use a straight line to find the missing. But I'm going to undo that and show you another way as well. With angles, there's often more than one way. So instead, I am going to use the 110 that they gave us, link that up to the top, and stretch all the way, showing where that 110 is. I obviously only want that little missing bit. So I'm going to do 110 take away 35. That will give me the solution for the top of the triangle, which is 75. And again, I'm going to quickly write down what I did so I don't forget. Alternate angles was used to help me find my 75. And now I can simply finish this off using angles in a triangle. So 180, take away the two angles that I know, leaves me 60. Angles in a triangle was used. Don't forget to write it down. 60 being the final answer. All right. We've got a little bit of algebra again. So expand and simplify. Now there's lots of different methods for this. I'm going to demonstrate using Crab's Claw. So x times x is x squared. Then you've got minus 9x plus 5x. And then don't forget it's 5 times minus 9, giving us minus 45. The middle collects, and we've got a final answer of x squared minus 4x minus 45. Now for the factorising, we're looking for factors. We're looking for something that's common in both terms. If we look at the 9 and the 6, 3 is common. 3 times table is in both 6 and 9. And the x is in both terms. So 3 and x is on the outside. And then I've got to think, what do I multiply 3 by to make 9? Well, that's 3. I want to make x squared, so I need an extra x in there as well. And I want to make 6x. So 3 times 2 is the 6. And the x I've already got on the outside, so I don't need to rewrite another one inside the bracket. So 3x bracket 3x plus 2 is the final answer